Here at the Minnesota Molten Series Club Volleyball Tournament, 2 matches left for us today on CCX. The championship right around the corner, but first our third place match between Mizuno Northern Lights 15-1 versus Synergy, the 17-1. We just saw the Synergy squad fall in the semifinal round, and now Malia Cotter's team will take on Antonio Mondo Jr.'s Northern Lights 15-1 team. So the freshman squad with a couple of 8th graders on it as well. I'm John Haddon along with Rachel Snyder. Glad to be joining you this afternoon. Synergy to start with the serve. And we are underway with Phoebe Glenn's serve. Off the receive, set to the right side. This one wild, and a point for Synergy to start.
Just like a little miscommunication there. Setter and hitter weren't running the same offense.
Glenn again on the serve. Off the receive by Mose. Move to the front. Spike through the block, and that's a kill for Olivia Swenson, one of 2 Hopkins players. In fact, the Hopkins players, both Swensons, the twin sisters, are the 2 8th graders on the team. Sharp serve, and that one not returned. An ace for Stella Swenson, the setter for Northern Lights 15-1. Swenson ready again. This one a let, and it is given over free. Back set, just barely touched over, popped over free. Now set to the middle, a spike and kill. Northern Lights, Annika Verink with the kill. Good spread here today in terms of ages and what we've seen in this tournament based on who's advanced and who hasn't. To see the 15-1 squad make it to this 3rd place matchup, a lot of talent over there on that side. Miscommunication on the Synergy side, and the point goes to Northern Lights. They extend their advantage to 4-1.
That's why this is a great tournament. If you're a younger team that plays at a high level, you're able to get a lot of reps in playing against older girls who tend to maybe play a little bit faster than you're used to.
Swenson still serving. The return back. There's a big-time dig on the side of Northern Lights by Janes. Push back to Synergy's side. They're trying to track it down. They will not, and it's a 5-1 lead for Northern Lights. All of this with Stella Swenson back at the service line. Swenson sees the defense ahead, goes after it looked like the libero, but instead played by the teammate next to her. This one pushed softly over by Synergy, and with that, they get themselves back on the scoreboard. 5-2, the advantage for Northern Lights. Serve here by Holm. Popped right back over on the serve. Receive. Glenn back set. Right side spike and kill. Rossing comes through with the score, and Synergy pulls within 2. Holm ready again. Talked about the youth of Northern Lights, but Holm's the sophomore on the squad for a team of juniors. The air spike through the block. Help from behind. Pops it over. This one set to the outside. Big swing. Pops off the blockers. Now Glenn sets the outside for Hillman. Dug out on the other side by the libero Janes. Back set right side. Spike, and that one finds the floor off a couple of hands.
Got a big size mismatch over here with Schnickels on the right.
Schnickel standing at 6'3".
This goes right over the top.
This is Olivia Swenson. The receive by Steffes. Give it to the outside for Hillman. Tries to push it into the block. That worked well. Good change of pace. Retreating back behind the service line now is Kate Bowles-Andelshek. Jump serve for Bowles-Andelshek. Played up by Janes. Move it to the front. Swenson set. Spiked from the right side for a kill.
Yeah, that's going to work all day.
So the Swenson connection works well. There's that open space. You talked about that 6 spot in the last matchup that we saw Synergy in.
Yep, that's their defense. That's how they play it.
We've seen it been to the advantage of the opposition at times so far.
Well, with this height matchup in the front row right now, she has the whole court to hit.
Glenn sets the front, spike and kill with the quick hands of Emma Van Heel. Rossing set to serve, 5 serving 7 is Synergy, trying to play catch up in the early goings of this opening game. Third place match here on CCX. Received by Olivia Swenson, popped up by Stella, and it's pushed over. Glenn towards the front, dumps it over. And diving dig to keep it alive. The libero sets it up, and the spike from the right side, good for a kill from Schnickels.
Feed the beast, that's what we say. She's hot, feed the hot hand.
Well, as you talked about, I mean, it might be more than that with the height advantage. If she has those kinds of looks all game long.
Makes the game a lot easier when you don't have a blocker.
Ready on the serve for Northern Lights is Schnickels. The product out of Wilmer out of the back row. Off her serve. And played up by Holm. Then Glenn sets it, and the push over by Van Heel finds the floor. 8-6. This is Synergy. Still staying with an arm's distance. Taking her time, now Hillman ready. One of 4 Champlin Park players for Synergy. Her spike popped into the air. Swenson sets the outside. Spike and kill. They continue to work it to all areas of the net, it seems like.
Nice line shot here. Notice how she's challenging the shorter of the 2 blockers as well.
That's Emily Mose. She stands 6 feet tall out of Lakeville South. Nearly 200 kills this fall for the Cougars. 9-6 the score in favor of Northern Lights. We're in the third place match right now. We've got the championship still to come, but as you look and see how the teams made it here, Northern Lights and Synergy both falling 2-0 in the semifinal round, which allowed Minnesota Select 16-1 and Northern Lights 18-2 to go to the championship match. We'll have that for you later today. It's funny, this is CCX, I think this is the first time they've done club volleyball, and one of the guys in the truck was really impressed with everyone's record. 15-1, 17-2, these are really good teams.
No, those are the level of teams. So the first number is the age group that you're working with. Second number is whether they're the top team, you know, 1s, 2s, 3s. Some teams do colors instead.
Here, the kill from the middle, and Synergy gets back within 2. 9-7 our score in favor of Northern Lights, 15-1. Now, they are still really good teams. We're seeing good volleyball here today.
Yes,
we've seen it throughout.
Very good volleyball. I'm very impressed with this 15s team here.
Steffes on the serve. Rough receive for Jones. Really seemed like Northern Lights never recovered after that. 9-8 Synergy back within 1. Steffes, another Champlin Park product. Steffes, Katie Martin, Taylor Hillman, and Maya Davis, all Rebels for their high school play. Just as she was going into her serve, we get a ball coming over to disrupt play, so we'll reset and go again. Served by Steffes, played up by the opposition's libero Janes. Give it to the outside, spike and kill there by Olivia Swenson.
One thing that we did see in Lights 15-1's earlier game, they do like this line shot here. It didn't work so well against, I think it was Select 16-1s. They did a good job adjusting, taking that away. But I think that line shot's definitely going to work with the Synergy team with the size that they have on the pins.
Ace there for Northern Lights makes it an 11-8 lead for the Northern Lights team. You've also talked about the size a bit, and we said that Schnickels is 6'3", Olivia Swenson is 6'3", and there's a lot of 6 foot plus on a 15-1 squad. One of the reasons I'm sure that they've done as well as they have, but there's talent to go with it, and when your setter's 6 foot, that usually sends a clear message as well. This one touched over by Northern Lights for their 12th point. Served by Caitlin Sellner. Pushed back by Bowles Andelcheck. Softly touched over. Sendel gets it up in the air, and it's given over free. Swenson.
Ooh.
Kill.
Setter kill.
So they just
Great
went
job.
back and forth between Olivia and Stella, and they get the point.
Great job by Stella to play that ball. She transitioned back so she could get an approach in for that attack as well.
During our last matchup, we talked about how many teams are running a 5-1 in this tournament, whereas they might be running 6-2 at the high school level. So I'm sure Swenson's taken a few swings in her time.
Oh, definitely. She's been around volleyball her whole life. Both she and Olivia.
Well, that name's synonymous with volleyball here in Minnesota.
Definitely.
Nine serving 13. Janes got it up. Now it's given over free by Swenson. Hillman to the front. Glenn, and it's pushed over by Rossing. Swenson sets it up to Swenson, and Stella's feed to Olivia is punched into the blockers and out of bounds for a point.
Rossing needs to work on that hand strength a little bit, that outside hand. Turn that back into the court and finish that block.
Here's Stella Swenson. She had a strong showing at the service line earlier. Steffes backs up on it, gets it in the air. Glenn over to Rossing, nicely dug out by Janes. Out of the back, Carlson plays it forward, given over free. Hillman, Glenn sets the middle, the spike into the net. There was the blocker there. They're going to say the blocker got a piece of it, and we play on. This spike out of bounds, too long. You see what I see on that one?
Yeah, that was
okay.
Definitely tape ball. No touch on that block there. Should have been 4 contacts, but Lights ends up getting it anyway.
15-9, the advantage for Lights. Their largest lead of this matchup. Serve into the net will close the gap a bit. 10 serving 15 coming up as Synergy. And it sends Kaylee Sendel behind the line. Centennial Cougar had 29 aces this fall. Ball given to the front, back set right side. Spike, Steffes got it in the air, still alive after it hit the rafters, but it came down in a hurry, and that's a point for Northern Lights.
It's tough. You're running one way to track a ball, and it hits the ceiling and comes back that hard. It's hard to change direction, come back to play that ball.
So the younger squad up by a significant margin here in our opening game, 16-10. The lead for Antonio Armando's squad.
The Lights is just controlling the ball better. They're taking care of business on their side, putting the ball back over, making minimal errors.
There's a lot of, young players who had very strong seasons. Caitlin Sellner played for the Egan squad. The Wildcats only lost one game. That was in the state championship at the 3A level. Eastridge went 24-6. That's Michaela McDougall's team. Northfield went 28-2. That's Sydney Janes, the Libero's team.
Synergy is just looking a little tired. They just, of course, finished a match right before this, so they're playing 2 in a row.
And waiting for them was this Northern Lights team. Here's Olivia Swenson on the serve. Hillman gets it up. Glenn gives it to Rossing. Her spike, too strong, out of bounds, 17-10.
Maybe trying to go for hands on that, just missed them.
Olivia Swenson yet again. The 8th grader has been strong back there. Serve with some good spin on it. Played up by Steffes. Moved to the front and winding up. It was like it was set for the kill for Annika Verunk. Comes over from Hillman.
Yeah.
One touch.
That's tough. She was playing the ball really tight to the net. It's hard to put it really where you want to put it.
Swenson, Steffes, Glenn And then James digs out the Bozandelchek try. This spike down the outside line, good for a kill.
Lights is rolling right now.
It was Emily Mose that time who came through with the score. 9-point advantage. Steffes to the front. Set the middle. Janes. That one's punched over. Another try by Mose. Glenn pushes it deep. Janes has been setting a lot of balls as the libero. This one doesn't work out on the other end. And a point for Synergy.
Jump set even. And I think she was trying to make sure that she stayed behind the 10-foot line. As a setter, you're not allowed to set the ball when you come in front.
Ball saved at the net and spiked over for the kill. Northern Lights continues to control this opening game. 20-11 our score.
Coming inside on that ball. Just a nice little shot, drop of the thumb.
Again, Mose strong offensively this fall, and she's showing it here as well. This spike caught a little tape, probably helped out. It falls to the floor. It'll be 12 serving 20 as Synergy makes a switch.
I wouldn't be surprised if Synergy got a little bit of energy here with Van Heel coming in. She's been their rock today. Get her the ball, see what she can do.
Van Heel at the front of the net. Serving is Katie Martin. The receive by Mose. Swenson sets it up, and the spike and kill for Schnickels that time.
That was a great reverse set.
Excuse me, point went the other direction. I didn't see the contact there at the net. 13 serving 20. Martin's serve popped up by Mose. Swenson gives it back to her. Mose looking back corner, can't find it. And Katie Martin continuing on. Still a 6-point gap. Ball bumped to the front, set the middle, and the spike finds the floor, courtesy of Caitlin Selner. Schnickels ready for the serve. That's a good serve, an ace for her, makes it 22-14. Northern Lights has been flirting with a double-digit lead, but they've never gotten it here in the opening game.
Great float on that serve. The more that ball floats, the harder it is to read.
This one played into the air on the receive by Sendel. Now punched over. Jane steps in front. Nice setup by Swenson right in front. It's an easy touch forward by Selner for the kill.
They've got their connection worked out there. That looks nice.
Ball floated too deep that time. 23-15 after the service error gives a point to Synergy. They don't have a lot of margin for error at this point. Hillman on the serve. James to Swenson, sets the middle. This block forces it back. We haven't talked a lot about the Synergy block today, but it came through in the middle that time.
And guess who? Van Heel.
Hillman ready again. James, Swenson, and then it's Olivia Swenson who hits it over. On the other side, Van Heel with a big strike. Touched over, still alive. Too much on that one as Hillman was diving, just sends it wildly out of bounds. 24-16 our score. Players were close, couldn't keep it alive.
Little dump over there by Stella.
Van Heel receives, joust up at the net, punched again, and we're done. 25-16, Northern Lights 15-1 gets the victory in the opening game. They look to take it in 2 when we return shortly here on CCX.
CCX Media is the first place you go for local news and sports. But did you know you can sign up for those stories to go straight to your inbox on our website? Simply go to ccxmedia.org. Click on the subscribe button, and from there choose which notifications you want to receive. Then we'll send your favorite CCX Media news, sports, and city events straight to your inbox. Sign up now at ccxmedia.org.
Northern Lights 15-1 squad got a 25-16 win in the opening game of this third-place matchup at the Minnesota Molten Series Club Volleyball Tournament. John Haddon, Rachel Snyder back with you as we get set for the second game between these two teams.
Definitely saw a lot of frustration over there on Synergy's side. You know, whether it be they lost to a 15s team and they're frustrated about that, but they're not as scrappy as they have been in previous matches today, and very low energy. You can you see the bench trying to be loud and get the team going, get them more energy, but
you mentioned the back-to-back matchups as well.
Yeah, they played back-to-back, so maybe not fueling enough. And I think Lights just needs to keep running their quick tempo, keep putting that pressure on them, minimize their errors.
So beginning with the serve, Northern Lights. Annika Varunk sends it over. That one out, and an early point for Synergy to start. Synergy's now taken the first point in each of the first two games here. They had trouble keeping up with Northern Lights after that, and here, Northern Lights coming through with a touch kill in the front of the net there. Knutson getting the point for her team.
Yeah, Stella is a very passer-friendly setter. She's very tall. She can go up and get that ball just about anywhere it is.
Stella Swenson on the serve. Now the spike over by Bolzandalshek. Steffes plays it up. Glenn sets the middle, and that spike dug out by Northern Lights again. Janes gets it up. Right side attack. Good for a kill. And Northern Lights, off the point from Stella Swenson, goes in front 2-1.
It's a great drop of the thumb on that shot. Her body is coming in cross, but she's able to go align with that ball.
Served by Swenson. Played up into the air by Holm. This one finds the floor courtesy of Synergy. We're tied at 2 apiece. Synergy ready with Maya Davis. Janes receives. Swenson sets it up, and the spike from the outside. Good for a kill. Sydney Schnickels that time coming through. With that, Michaela McDougall sets up for the serve. McDougall out of East Ridge. Plays it over. Now this shot touched around the potential blocker. Finds the floor for Synergy. And with that Van Heel kill, we're tied at 3. Tethered to each other on the scoreboard. We've been tied at 1, 2, and 3. Janes. Here's Swenson, back set to the right side. This spike off the block, good for a kill. Another one for Schnickels.
That's a great swing off the block. They didn't get fooled by Stella's reverse. So Stella was running toward the outside, reversed the flow, set back. Schnickels still had that double block on her.
This is Sydney Janes out of Northfield, the libero. Trying to get a little service run going. Nobody's been able to do it. Pancake receive, and now we get a call. Double touch on that one. So Synergy yielding the point, and we have our first 2-point advantage of the second game. Janes again. Steffes trying to receive. That one goes wildly out of bounds, and Ace makes it 6-3.
Slow feet on that pass. She ended up chasing it with her platform.
James puts it over. Steffes then set to the front. Glens gives it to Van Heel, and that's all you need. 6-4 the score. So I've seen a lot of Van Heel, this entire Synergy team, having done back-to-back games with them. Van Heel has been the strongest attacker for them throughout the course of the day. Here, long run up. The spike dug out. Pushed back over to the Northern Lights. Swenson sets the right side. Good for a kill off the blockers. McDougal. No, check that. That was Schnickels again. 7-4 advantage, Northern Lights. Riley Nelson from Zambroda, Mazeppa. Is it Mazeppa? I've never been down there. Okay.
That's quite the truck.
Yeah, say down there.
Yeah.
That's not entirely accurate. 7-4 now. We'll move to 8-4. Northern Lights extending their lead as that ball pushed out of bounds by Synergy. Glenn sets the outside. The spike there. A kill from Van Heel. Pulls her team within 3.
Taking swings in the middle and the outside.
Seems like there's plenty of reason to go to her more if you're
definitely
on the Synergy side right now. Serve from Steffes. Swenson sets it up to the outside. The spike by Mose will not come back. It's a 9-5 lead for Northern Lights. Riley Nelson ready again. Ace. The first team to double digits here in the second game is Northern Lights. They have doubled up on Synergy at this point, 10-5.
It's a great serve. She's going across the court trying to paint that line over there.
After being tied 1-2-3, it's a 7-2 run for Northern Lights. And this ball out of bounds off the service error. We go to 10-6. Synergy will have the serve on their side once more. Have a check before we rotate, it looks like. All right, all set. It is Phoebe Glenn who's back for the serve. Played for the 27-7 Pequot Lakes team this fall. Here her serve out of bounds. 11-6. Northern Lights extends their lead back to 5 points. Annika Verink. Look to the sideline to see if there was a call. Now waiting on the officials who are chatting. And down referee is going to go across to the up referee. A little tough to tell. The uniforms don't match today.
I think we have a rotation question here. Maybe we had the wrong person serving, or...
And we talked about this during our last match when we saw Synergy. They have a little more complexity to their rotation and how they position their players than some other teams might. I continue to check on that. And this is kind of the last thing that Synergy needs, is anything else that's going to distract from their efforts to come back or possibly penalize them for a mistake made. They had a real hard time keeping up with Northern Lights in the first game, which the Northern Lights 15-1 squad went 25-16 for a 9-point win. Right now, Northern Lights up by 5.
And now we got the up ref coming down.
That I have not seen much of.
It doesn't happen often. Looks like we have there's an issue with the book. So that's usually a rotation thing.
Wow, you can almost read the scoreboard there. 11-6. That's what I had to. So with that, got to go through every bit of rotation we've had here in the second game, possibly, in order to decipher where the issue came.
Yep, in the book you track side out, how many points there were at that side out, the serving order. So they basically just backtrack, make sure all that the numbers match up.
So a little break. Team's not, well, at least Northern Lights not using it as a traditional timeout to bring the players in to talk to the coach. Synergy is doing that right now. I'm sure that on the Synergy side there might be a little more to talk about when you've fallen behind in both games the way that they have.
Yeah, I imagine their coach is trying to give them the pep talk and trying to get some emotion back in this game for them.
Again, we'll have the championship later on today. Minnesota selects 16-1 against the Northern Lights 18-2 squad. So again, those numbers usually or do represent ages for the most part. Sometimes players play up, but you've got a senior squad going against the sophomore team in that championship. If you want to look at it that way. Just like here, we've got a junior team against a freshman team. The freshman Northern Lights squad has had a clear advantage in both games, and now they do come to the middle a bit. Bench and players will chat while the rotation continues to be deciphered. I mean, we've played 17 points, so there has been a fair amount of rotation, but we're not at the end of the mat or the set, so could be worse, I guess.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right. Well, the official seems satisfied enough with what he's deciphered at the table, so he's going to come back. I didn't see if they flipped the score at all. Make any changes there. So now saying that Northern Lights would need Annika Verink to serve. I believe before all this started, she was the one headed back to the service line.
I think that was just done for clarification on what rotation everybody is in.
Okay.
I think the confusion was over on Synergy's side. So the up ref just likes to kind of fill everybody back in where they are in the book and almost start over.
All right. Annika Verink serves. Oh, we're back to playing volleyball. Well, Northern Lights didn't miss a beat during that break. 12-6 their advantage. Verink ready again. Steffes, too strong. That one's swatted down, but Steffes gets it back up in the air. Swenson sets the outside. That one kept alive on the McDougal spike. And unable to play it on a second touch. A diving Swenson can't get there for Northern Lights. Synergy with the point.
I don't know how Steffes got that ball. So that was almost like a golf swing.
Able to get under it just in time. Here is Paige Holm. Receive. Now Swenson sets the middle. Spike and kill. Easily done that time as Stella sets Olivia. Schnickel's back into the game as the serve for Stella Swenson. Received well, nice pass up to Glenn, then the spike from Hillman, played into the air by Nelson. This one given to the outside. McDougal spike played up. Back set right side attack. Blocked back. Knutson and McDougal standing tall that time to shut down the attack by Synergy.
They're taking up a lot of space on that block. There you can see a little bit how tired Synergy is. Not a lot of their teammates were in there covering that ball.
Back set to the right side. There's a kill off the blocks that time for Kate Balls-Andelshek. Synergy ready. And the serve. Played up by McDougal. Given to the outside. Nice adjustment in the air that time. And a kill for Schnickels.
Great block in there.
Another point for Northern Lights. (16) serving 8. Steffes gets it up. Glenn sets the outside. Van Heel's spike dug out by McDougal, but the pass went wide and got into the up referee stand. 16-9 as Synergy picks up the point. Serve by Sendel. Back on the attack. Northern Lights puts it right in front of her. 17-9.
It's great tempo. There you see her coming from the right side of the court and going to the left. That's where her momentum is. That's her power shot right there.
Kind of split right between Sendel and Higley. Good placement that time. Janes on the serve. Ball set up to the right side. Hard hit, but popped into the air. And Northern Lights will set it up to the right side. Steffes digs it out nicely. This ball played back to Northern Lights. Back set right side. McDougal adjusts to it. Glenn gets a hand on it. Move back towards the front. Hillman touches it over. Down to a knee to dig it out. And set the outside. Spike by Swenson. Popped in the air, but it won't come back. As it stopped at the top tape. 18-9. Northern Lights again with twice as many points as Synergy. Janes. Northern Lights plays it over, a diving dig, move to the front. Nice placement that time, a kill for Emma Van Heel.
There's that tip to 4 again by the middle. Very common, something that they like to do when they're in trouble or their body's not quite in the right spot to take a swing. So throw in that tip to 4.
And seeing how well this freshman squad has played here today, this 15-1 squad has played here today, I imagine there are going to be plenty of tournaments or some tournaments where they're only playing 15-1s, right?
Yeah, I think, majority will be, any of the qualifiers that they play, they'll be playing all their same age. But
the showing here has to bode well for those kinds of tournaments.
Yeah, it's very good to play older teams just throughout the season because the speed is a little bit different and it helps you improve a lot faster. You learn a lot more in those matches than you do compared to playing a team that's not your caliber. And
serve out of bounds makes it 19-11 Northern Lights. And they give the ball to Riley Nelson. Soft floater, stepping up on it. Synergy sets it to the right side. That ball dug out nicely. Given to the outside themselves, and this one hit tape, so 4 touches is called. Point to Synergy, 19-12. Now the score. Lexi Steffes going back behind the service line. Swenson sets the middle. The spike from there by Verink. Thought it was going to find the floor. Not quite. Now Verink pops it up. Bump set to the outside. This spike off the hands for a kill. Emily Mose finishes it off.
You got 2-hitter rotation here for Lights. Both players are hitting in front of the setter. This should make it easier on Synergy's block. They don't have to move as far to cover both hitters.
20 serving 12. Synergy sets the outside. That one found a home. Looked like there were two players there. Neither one could slide in front of the ball. 21-13. Another serve for Phoebe Glenn. Swenson sets up Verink, and that one all into the net that time.
A little bit of a lift there.
22-13. Ball given to the front. Spike comes all the way back over, and it's hit out of bounds.
That's tough.
Another point for Northern Lights, 23-13, leading by double digits now. That one won't come back. Verink heads back for the serve. Serve popped in the air, given to the outside. This one blocked out of bounds off of the hands of Northern Lights. A point to Synergy. Northern Lights closing in on the match win. Just trying to finish up here. Touched over, that one finds the floor and wraps it up. No, excuse me, 24-14. Here's match point. Ball played to the front. Northern Lights barely gets it over free. Steph is to the front. Glenn sets the middle. This ball pops out of bounds, so Synergy stays alive. Serve hits the floor.
Nobody moving for that ball.
Holding on for dear life is Synergy, and they've rattled off a few points to extend the match. Katie Bowles-Andelshek on the serve. Here, Van Heel tried to spike it into the block. This time she puts it into the net, and that will wrap it up. 25-16. Third place goes to Northern Lights 15-1 squad. So with the 15-1s getting the victory.
We have a question here for the up ref. Okay,
so we're still not done.
Setter back row. She stayed on the ground and put her hands up. So I think what they're going to call is a back row block. So that point goes to Synergy instead.
So Synergy still managing to stay alive. Ball given to the front, blocked back. Van Heel by herself. Now this one hit out of bounds. And it's 24-18.
Yeah, so the rule, Stella's in the back row, so she can't block or play anything up at the net if the ball breaks the plane of the net. So she made contact, and the ball goes the other way.
Glenn sets the middle. This shot blocked back, and I think it's official this time. 25-18.
Yes.
The win for Northern Lights 15-1s. So the freshman team gets the third place victory, and that's where they will finish today. Again, we talked about it. Really strong showing for such a young squad.
Lights was very much in control for that entire match. You can see, I think, maybe the age came through there at the end of that last set. Being up by so much and maybe just kind of rolling over a few points. That's something that you learn with age and as you mature.
We've still got one to go. Northern Lights 18-2 against Minnesota Select 16-1. It's the championship matchup. That's next. But again, your third place team is Northern Lights 15-1s. For Rachel Snyder, I'm John Haddon. We'll say so long for now.